Alright, so what is up, guys? I hope you had fun last night watching the draft. A lot of surprise happened, not that much trade. I guess they're going down more today. But the draft was a really exciting night. I had fun with friends watching it. I hope you did the same as well. And feel free at any time, by the way, to post your comments. Who's the biggest steal? Who's the biggest drop during the draft? Vileno, definitely one that I would consider. And just feel free to post your thoughts on the draft. So I'm going to do a quick recap, the winners, the loser of round one. And without further ado, let's jump right in. So first off, the first two picks, Stalin, Svechnikov, nothing to say there. And in Montreal with Kotkaniemi, not as much as a surprise. I did saw it coming the past few weeks. Makes sense. Guy I think would actually be a stud. 2-3 years down the road probably. And Tkachuk, again, we saw him go into top 5 in most mock draft from experts, so no surprise there as well. A great player. I think he's going to do well in Ottawa. And now the biggest bomb drops at number 5. I guess Arizona was interested in Kotkaniemi as well. Arizona was interested for sure, but then they saw that Montreal was going to pick him. I guess that affected the potential drop or trade that Montreal was maybe trying to do to get Kotkaniemi later. I'm sorry by the way if I'm butchering his name. I'm just trying my best here. But yeah, and so they selected Hayton, which I think will be a dominant two-way center for sure. He was playing behind a guy named Morgan Frost in the OHL, so Morgan Frost was taking all the offensive mission, still posted very close to a point per game, so a surprise, yes. But again, we always saw, this guy was number 11 on my list, and we saw the potential that any guy that could move up or move down in this crazy deep top 12 of a draft. And then Detroit's probably laughing at this point, saying, okay, we're going to get Philip Zadina, which I think was number 3, maybe considered by Carolina to play with a guy like Martin Necas. So, I mean, it's interesting to see, somebody as talented as Zadina to play with a guy like Dylan Larkin. I'm really excited to see those both combine. Hopefully, you're going to have great chemistry and, start that rebuild in Detroit. And then my personal favorite player of the draft, Quentin Hughes, was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks. I think he's definitely going to go. I don't see the Canucks necessarily rushing that guy into the lineup, so maybe another year with Michigan is to expect. But again, a very good pick by Vancouver. And Boqvist by Chicago, again, a right-handed defenseman. They needed that. They have guys like Chad Crisp, which is left-handed, and Keith as well, so it makes sense for them to get some backup sooner than later for a guy like Seabrook who's not playing as well as he did. And Boqvist's offensive potential is definitely through the roof. So, the top 8, except Hayton, we saw that coming. And then the Rangers picked Kraftstov at number 9, which was, I think, a bit of a reach. But, you never know. Players coming from Russia are always a bit harder to really get a good feeling on what they're going to do. 7 points in KHL is nothing to scoff at, but it's not, elite. But if you can have a 12-win season afterwards and gain value, then I think 12-win will go top 10. So that's why it makes sense for the Rangers to try. They had 3 first-round picks, at least, if everything works out with that guy, is going to be great. And the Rangers are definitely in rebuild mode, so it makes sense for them to pick a guy like this. And then finally, Edmonton get a right-handed shot in Evan Bouchard, which I think could step in next season and help their power play and just bring a new leadership role on that blue line for the Oilers, which is must needed. And the winner of the draft, without making any trade, in my mind, are the New York Islanders. They got Wahlstrom and Dobson in 11 and 12, which I think are both steals. Both of them are steals. They were going top 5, top 7 in most of mock draft. They kind of fell out based on, pure talent team needs. And I guess the center kind of aspect make those guys drop. This team may have some potential down the road with those two guys. Wahlstrom with a guy like Berzel, I can't even imagine what those two are going to do together. And a guy like Noah Dobson, who could definitely carry things on that blue line, is very, very interesting to see. Top 12 being gone. A lot of guys that we expected to maybe going a bit sooner, like Vileno, went actually to Detroit at 30th. The rest of the draft a bit unpredicted. It's really hard to see what's going to happen for the rest, but we still enjoyed the show. See a few guys go earlier, see a few guys going later. Ty Smith dropping at 17 was a bit of a surprise for me as well, but I think the New Jersey Devils will definitely be happy with that guy. Merkley at number 21 for the San Jose Sharks was a bit of not a surprise. This guy is definitely first round potential talent. It's exactly how he's going to develop his game. That was a big question mark for most scouts and most teams. I guess the Sharks just saw in him that offensive blue line that could maybe, learn from a guy like Brett Burns and take over in a few years, which, would make sense for the Sharks. High risk, but a very hard pick for sure. And the Rangers move up to get a guy like Brandon Miller. I think that was a bit of a reach in my mind. but it's, you know, guys from, he's going to play in the NCAA very soon. I think this guy is a 3 or 4 year project for sure, but if he develops as a beast that the Rangers believe him he can be, will be a great pick. For we see the Rangers taking long-term project, they're really into rebuild mode for sure, so I guess everything makes sense for them. Their pick just really announced the fact that they're going rebuild mode, and that's exactly what's needed in the Rangers. You know, rebuild, and in 3 or 4 years they can be back on the map and have a very competitive team. They could very well do that because I think their center line is very, very good. So taking a good defenseman that could be like a solid two-way guy, and then taking a potential superstar on the wing like a Tarasenko or a Kucherov type of player, then of course, why not? And the guy that dropped was Dominic Boqvist, that fell eventually to St. Louis Blues at 25. This guy was really high on my list. Is definitely high talent. We saw he was a bit cocky during the draft, chewing his gum in a way that, you know, it's okay. I won't, you know, break it down. I won't be my, you know, crazy journalist today, but you can see a little bit of cockiness in him. I think he also expected to go a bit sooner in the draft, so when it was, you know, cameras on him, he was like, yeah, okay, let me be sure that I'm good or something. So I didn't quite like that, but I guess that doesn't change the fact that he's a very talented winger. And the Toronto Maple Leaf drafting Sandin makes a lot of sense. The Leafs GM was actually the Sault Ste. Marie GM before that. Well, before he was assistant GM, before that he was the GM there. So his connection with that team are impeccable. So I'm not surprised that he moves down a bit to really get the guy you want and get a third pick in asset in terms of his moving down return. So it makes sense. Everything makes sense there as well. And then Joe Veleno dropped at 30th. During the draft, there was the biggest conversation. Okay, Veleno dropping. He was top 3 in mock draft a year ago. Top 3. And then even this year, it was at least top 15. I mean, a few weeks down the road, I mean, you know, if you check like 2 days ago, you would expect Veleno to go in the top 15. He dropped to 30th, which I think was an absolute steal for the Detroit Red Wings. They drafted a lot of guys from the QMJHL in this draft, which, you know, I guess they have a good connection there as well. But I really like that pick, and I think it's going to be a great guy behind a guy like Dylan Larkin. Would make a lot of sense as well. So again, the potential is definitely there for Veleno. We gotta work with him, and Detroit is definitely a team that can manage that as well. So overall, that's my first round quick recap, my thoughts on it. I think the New York Islanders and Detroit Red Wings are definitely the winner of this first round without doing much, just picking the best guy available in my mind that was, you know, there when it was up. Same thing for the Islanders. The Wahlstrom and Dobson fell down. It's a great asset for both teams that are definitely needed in those teams for sure. So it was a very interesting first draft. We didn't see anything traded. That was today. My video is coming up this trade right after this one. And same thing with Pacioretty. But I think there's going to be guys that will be traded very soon, especially on the... So thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, make sure you post down your comments. I just want to get a conversation going on your thoughts on the draft. How do you feel your team did during the draft? And just feel free to, you know, get the conversation going down below. We'll chat and we'll see what happens. So thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed the draft last night with my friends. I hope you did as well. You have an amazing day, and make sure you watch the trade breakdown of Noah Hanifin vs Dougie Hamilton down below. It will be on my channel in about 20 minutes. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. You have an amazing day. Take care. All the best. See you guys very soon.